long. Welcome to the 10 scale. It's a review show I just made up. There's probably other review shows about weighing things on a scale. You get it? I'm too lazy to look it up, so I'm the only 10 scale out there for today, at least. Today we're reviewing Bad Trip. It is Eric Andre's new show, new fucking movie. I'm a big fan of Eric Andre. I think the Eric Andre show is one of the funniest shows out there. The one thing that is a hiccup by Eric Andre is I don't find his stand-up to be funny at all. I actually find it to be... I couldn't even finish it. The Eric Andre show was great. I think his stand-up is a little bit meh. So coming in this movie, I was like, all right, hopefully he hits out with a bang, and it's more like the show. I can say it's a pretty good movie. It's essentially Bad Grandpa. If you've seen Bad Grandpa, you've basically seen Bad Trip. That's a good thing. I am a big supporter of Jackass, Borat, travel type movies where you're with your homie and there's pranks along the way. Those are some of my favorite types of movies. So I'm like the perfect dude to be reviewing this movie. There's some good things, there's some bad things. We'll start with the good. I think the cast is hilarious. I think all of them are great, especially Tiffany Haddish. I don't know too much about Tiffany Haddish, but she is so intimidating. I felt like she was going to come through the camera and eat my ass alive. I think Lil Rey, I know him from Get Out. He's the security guy. I thought he was great. And there's skits that hit well, and there's skits that don't. I would kind of put the skits into three different types. You've got kind of Jackass-style skits. This movie is produced by Jeff Tremaine. So you have Jackass-style skits. You've got maybe about one, like Sacha Baron Cohen type skit, and then the rest is like Eric Andre type skits. I think the Eric Andre and the kind of Sacha Baron Cohen style skits hit. I think they hit pretty well, but there's some Jackass-style ones that really didn't. So my favorite skit in the movie is it's kind of a Sacha Baron Cohen type skit. It's two guys and they're going into this cowboy bar, just full of a bunch of hick white people. It's in like northern Florida, and they go in and they're talking about how they're the only black guys in the bar, and it's cringy, kind of like how Borat is cringy. And it's like it shouldn't be cringy that two black guys are in this all white place, but so it's kind of like a reflection of like our own prejudices. And I remember getting cringy. Why am I getting cringy from this? And it's a good skit where he gets way too drunk and is telling people he falls off, crashed in, starts throwing up on people, starts messing with these old white people. It's a pretty good skit. There's a few more. There's the opening skit of the movie where he sees the girl of his dreams coming into he's a mechanic at the very beginning of the show. Because a girl of his dreams comes in and he's detailing this guy's car. He's like, oh shit, that's the girl I want to see. And the girl comes in and he's like, telling this random dude about this girl. And then he fucking suctions all of his clothes off and he's butt ass naked and he ruins everything. It's pretty fucking funny. I think that's all with the good. There's a few more good skits throughout, but then there's some skits that just don't hit. One of those is a gorilla rape skit where he goes into a zoo and he goes in to take a selfie and a gorilla rapes him. It just really, I don't know. I guess on theory it sounds kind of funny, but it really wasn't that funny in my mind. I think it's essentially like, oh, this dude's getting raped by a gorilla, and the people are like freaking out. It's like, I think it would have been funnier if it was like a literal Harambe skit, because that's what it's inspired by. Like, let's say he has two kids in a carriage. He's got two little kids, and they're cute, and they're like, oh, let's go get a picture with the gorilla. And the gorilla starts like throwing the kids around and brashing. I think that skit would be more funny. But the gorilla, I thought it was kind of lame. And there's a few kind of duds throughout there that don't really hit. And then there's the Jackass style skits. Now, if you're gonna do a Jackass style skit, you've got to be willing to put your body on the line, right? You got to be willing to experience yourself with poop and get hit by a bull. And there's a few of these skits. One of them, he goes into a porta potty. Lil Rey goes into a porta potty and he falls in, and a girl has to help him out. But it's not real. Like, you can't do a Jackass skit and not do it. Like, it would have been funny if it was a real porta potty full of shit, like Steve-O, but it wasn't. So there's like a few of these skits that are like traditional Jackass style skits, but they're not real. right? In the same way, like he's not really getting poop on him, so it's not really that funny, you know. But any scene with, I think, Tiffany Haddish was pretty good. She's just such a menacing person on the camera, like it's impossible to ignore her. A really great part of this movie is the people reactions on the streets. They're pretty good. This was filmed in Atlanta, so it gives that kind of Atlanta vibe. The main character, Tiffany Haddish, she escapes from prison, and when she's escaping from prison, the guy is kind of like being his accomplice. He's like, like lying to a cop, which is something you wouldn't get if you did this in like whitewashed, LA suburb. So you get that kind of action in this movie. There's a plot in this movie, but it's a bad grandpa jackass style movie. Who cares? It's a buddy friendship going across the country, just like Borat or anything, to do skits in different states. That part doesn't matter. I'm not gonna hit the movie for something like that. That doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck about a plot in a prank movie? So it comes down to the skits, and some hit, some don't. Overall, it's pretty good. I'm gonna give this movie a 5. There's some skits I think that could have been funnier, more well thought out. I thought any skit that kind of involved race, like I said, was incredibly funny. But there's some that just kind of leave something desired. Something that sounds funnier in your head, like getting raped by a gorilla in a zoo. So I think sound funnier on the paper, but on the implementation, it wasn't that great. And there's a few more poop skits and some kind of cringier skits that didn't really make me laugh that well. So overall, though, I'm impressed by this movie. I don't think it meets the bar of I think Bad Grandpa's better than this. Borat's fucking infinitely better than this. But as a prank movie, it's going to make you laugh. It's not too long. It's 90 minutes. So I would recommend. It's a recommend 5.5. In between. 5.5.